Parts of the UK have seen the coldest night in more than a decade as the big freeze continues. Do you remember we had a discussion about Igloo building with Charlie once?
Oh yes, I do remember that.
Do you remember? Like, I just want.
Apparently you use snow.
Pardon? Apparently, yeah, you use blocks of snow. Apparently, Charlie told us all of that. I mean, what will we do? This igloo is up for sale. I'm going to move it up a bit just so you can't see the top. How much would you pay for that igloo?
Have you got a sense of dimensions on it?
Sense of dimensions? No, I don't. But
that could be tiny. There's no people.
It's a great first home. It's been advertised by an estate agent. Great first home. Signs of damp, unfortunately. There is room to extend when you were talking about size. Great location and a large plot, hence the room to extend. How much would you pay for that, Matt?
I'd probably pay a chocolate bar, probably, maybe.
Well, it's up for £250,000.
That's a joke. Really?
Of course, it's a joke. But, yeah, it was put up. I mean, obviously, we're all trying to find things to amuse ourselves in lockdown, so these estate agents put it up on the market for £250,000. It's on North Pole Road, in case you wondered, and they did have a few viewing requests, as you would. Why not?
There's probably a house in London the same size for that price, let's be honest.
Yes, probably.
Good point, Matt. Good point. It's amazing wintry scenes in the Scottish sun after parts of the country saw 14 inches of snow falling yesterday. Just hearing from Matt about that. The paper reports weather warnings in place for 3 days, temperatures falling to -20. Looking here, it looks a bit like that, doesn't it, Matt?
Certainly does. I know some parts of the country, Charlie and I get very excited by a few flakes of snow, but just take a look at this shot from Braemar earlier in the week and just some of this footage as well. Braemar recorded 70 centimetres of snow at one point this week. Life still goes on though, and Braemar holds a record along with Altnahara for the lowest temperatures ever recorded in the UK, -27.2 degrees. It has been bitterly cold with all that snow around.
Let's talk to Matt. Let's get a very clear picture of what is going on. And those are impressive. Now, I remember this. Stagmites and stagtites. Now, stagtites hit tight on the ceiling, and stagmites might rise up one day to meet the stagtites. That's how I remembered it.
Yeah, I call them icicles.
Sorry?
I call them icicles.
Oh, Matt, I was really chuffed with myself then. Anyway, at least I didn't use what my director popped in my ear. She said stagtites come down and stagmites go up.
They're stalactites.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Tight to the ceiling.
There you go.
Anyway, it's cold.
Yeah, or icicles. Yeah, prisoner in the home because of the cold yesterday in Braemar. Very impressive icicles there. No wonder it's cold. Just take a look at these pictures from Braemar during the week. That's the Highlands Games Pavilion. Almost covered in snow. They've had a huge amount of snow, most snow they've had in some time in Braemar, and 70 centimetres was laying there at one point. Braemar, along with Altnahara, hold the record for the lowest temperature ever recorded in the UK, -27.2 degrees.
We're talking to a hotelier who's right up there, and I think it was -18 where he was, and he was very pragmatic, to be honest. He was saying, you know, it's tricky, a bit hard to get to the place, and very cold, obviously, but it looks beautiful. And I think we can see a few of the images now.
These are Scotland.
I mean, you know what? There are upsides to extreme weather, aren't there?
When it's not windy and you've got sunshine like that, it's absolutely stunning. You don't mind that level of cold. It's just when the wind kicks in. But beautiful, beautiful scenes up there at the moment. Incredible.
And I dare say those clear skies.
Envious.
Sorry, Matt, I was going to say that those clear skies you're seeing there probably obviously have a bearing on those really low temperatures.
Yeah, the clearer the skies by night, the more the ground loses the heat, and so the temperatures drop the further. In places like Altnahara and Braemar, they're in valleys, so all the cold air that's in the hills tumbles down the valleys and gets welled up in there. So that's why it gets so ridiculously cold at this time of year, particularly still with the nights so long as they are. But stunning scenes.
I tell you, I know there will be probably lots of objections from around the country, but I don't think that many places are as stunning in the snow as Scotland. I'm going to put that out there and let everyone, and then maybe perhaps everyone can send us pictures from all around the country and tell us how much better they do cold weather.
Does look good though, doesn't it?
It does. It looks beautiful.
Thanks, Matt. We'll see you later on.
Thanks, Matt.
See you later.
Very cold all over the UK. Obviously, some places a lot more colder than others. Hey, you've put a -22 on there. That's gone up, hasn't it?
It's still dropping.
Really?
Yeah. Good morning, Nag. Good morning, Charlie. It is getting colder still. Temperatures around -22 at Braemar. It takes a few hours after, well, usually about half an hour after sunrise before the temperatures start to lift up a little bit. But because it's so cold out there, so much snow, temperatures could still dip for a little bit more. So stick an extra layer or two on, and then an extra 2 layer more, I think, this morning. These are some of the temperatures to expect as you're stepping out the door at the moment. Down around -18 on the outskirts of Perth, -13 in Edinburgh, just above freezing for 1 or 2 in Northern. We've seen a bit more cloud here, 1 or 2 showers, widely below freezing across England and Wales. Lows around -8, -9 in a few spots. Hasn't been as cold towards the southeast as we were expecting this time yesterday.
To talk to you about the weather, well, you need to listen to what Matt has to say when it comes to the weather, because there's a lot of snow about. Do you know, when I look at a picture like that, all I can see is, you know, that moment when someone walks out of the front door and it all lands on top of them.
I can see that, yeah,
Yeah.
I can. I was just thinking about jumping in it. Lovely, It's lovely stuff. But this was Braemar earlier in the week, Naga, and Braemar has just recorded the UK's lowest temperature in over 25 years, 1995. It's understandable, snowy scenes like this through the week. Let me just show you some more footage from Braemar during the week, where at one point there was 70 centimetres of lying snow. Doesn't it look magical? Absolutely beautiful place. It does hold the record with Altnahara for the UK's coldest temperature ever. That was 27.2 degrees. But in the last hour, we have seen the temperature drop to 22.9. So that makes it around -23 Celsius. And these are just some of the other temperatures being experienced so far this morning across the UK, even as far south as the outskirts of Oxford. We've been down to around -7 or -8 degrees. So if you're about to head out, stick an extra layer on and then another one on top of it. It is pretty cold out there, but it is sunny for the vast majority.